Hello, my darling Scorpio. Welcome to your February reading. I am using the Intuitive Life Coaching Oracle for you, followed by my animal tarot cards. And I think I'm going to pop out one or two of my new Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck, which just arrived today for you. So thank you, my darlings, first of all, for all of your wonderful support of both me and this channel. I so appreciate it. And to all of you that I have not yet replied to with your lovely comments, I will do, my darling. I do reply to each and every one of you. So what are we going to do? We are going to pull one of these cards, first of all, to see where you are, the main theme of the reading, and then I will go into the tarot for you just to go a little bit deeper into those cards. If this reading resonates, my darling, you are hearing it within your divine design. And if it resonates, or I resonate as a reader, don't forget to hit that like button, to perhaps comment, to perhaps subscribe, to become a member, or to take advantage of my gift back to you, the Pay What You Can 30-minute online readings I'm currently offering. All of the details are in the description box below. So what has come out for you? Universal Flow has come out, and it says, it is time for you to slow down, breathe, and take time to smell the roses. So sometimes in our keenness to get to where we are going, we are not noticing where we are, Spirit is saying. It is very easy to do, especially when we are very keen to get somewhere, or we are excited to get somewhere, or we are just desiring for something to happen now. We're not actually noticing life right now. And when we either live in the past or we're living in the future, we're not living in the present, and the present is all there is. So take a moment now to sit, to focus on what you're seeing, to focus on what you're hearing at this time, whether it's noises of everyday life around you, and to breathe and to take notice of who you are in this present moment, to slow down, to come back into the universal life flow. Universal flow is one of natural flow. It is not a race. I always say I surround myself with plants to remind me the whole time about the beautiful pace of a plant's growth and how we have acceptance of that, but we don't have acceptance of our growth and where we are meant to be. So it is that radical acceptance. It's surrendering to what is in the present moment, and to breathe. To breathe. I did a reading today. The daily reading was about just breathe. That life force energy is breath, and it is to inspire and to exhale. The inspiration coming in, the life force energy coming in, and to exhale, to surrender, to release, to relax, to feel a certain sense of relief. Take time to smell the roses. What is it in your life that you're not noticing the sweet nectar of? What is it? Because roses smell beautiful. So what is present in your life that has already blossomed in your life that perhaps you haven't noticed? And when you notice, and when you take time to appreciate, you're filled with gratitude. Your subconscious is flooded with gratitude, and that in turn creates more things for you to be grateful for. So alongside of that, I think I'm going to pull you Believe in Your Own Magic. Thank you, Scorpio. And let's see what wishes to come out. Thank you, Spirit. So you have got number 10, and there are roses in this card as well, and it says forgive. So within this space of where you are right now, my darling, forgiveness is such a small word, but such a big thing and such a courageous thing to be able to do. I feel that when we sit in a space of desiring and wishing for change and wishing for somebody else to perhaps change, what we're doing is not understanding or not reflecting or not sitting in breathing and seeing actually that we are responsible. Nobody else is responsible for how we feel. Nobody else can make us sad. Nobody else can make us angry or make us unforgiving. It is a choice that we decide to do. But in forgiving another, it is the best form of self-love that you can do for yourself, because you are releasing, you are exhaling that energetic connection, and you are declaring, you're making a very spiritual declaration in that space that you choose to forgive, to give yourself peace. You choose to forgive because you want to notice in your life things that are wonderful, that perhaps that are being consumed at this time by feelings of hurt or anger, or that somebody hasn't come forward to do something that you would expect for them to do. But everybody is within life. Everybody is in a state of being where they are in a state of being. They're literally, thank you, Spirit, they're in a state of where they are as a human being, and they are in a state of existing and being conscious or subconscious about where they are, but it's all about the relationship they have with themselves. And if we can choose that, actually, we can just choose to forgive. We can just choose to forgive with the understanding everybody's doing the best they can. And everybody is within that place of doing the best they can. They are perhaps doing things or saying things that are hurtful for others, but they are reacting from their awareness of life and their place of pain as well. There is much growth in your life at this time, and I think this is why Spirit is saying for you to smell the roses, and to take time out for yourself as well, to do some self-care at this time, you know, with the bath here as well. What else can I? Thank you, Spirit. 10, it's almost over, my darling. This feeling, this last sort of feeling of needing to release something. And let's have a look to see what else comes out. Thank you. I'm just seeing it already. Number 11 has come out. Isn't that beautiful? The sun. Paint the sun back into your sky. You make a choice and a decision, my darling, what you are choosing in this present moment, not in the past, not in the future. In this present moment, you choose what you wish to focus your attention on. Choose what you choose to wish to focus your attention on, that is of growth, that is of happiness, that is of what is present in your life in smelling the roses, what is there for you, what you have created in your life. There is a natural universal flow to whatever is happening at this time, but there is present in your life so much for you to be grateful for. But if you get caught up in the energy of non-forgiveness, it can be incredibly destroying. And we all have had many times in our life where it is easier to not forgive than it is to take that deep breath, to exhale, to release and go, do you know what? I don't need to have an apology. I just forgive. I forgive, and I choose to forgive because actually I just want to move on. I want to surrender. I do not want to be thinking about this anymore. And actually I feel sorry. I feel sorry that they are the way where they are. And it's got nothing to do with me. It's just my ego that thinks it's got something to do with me. Actually, I'm going to choose to have an extraordinary grace of the heart and generosity of the heart to kind of say, I either choose to love you, or I choose to like you, I choose to be kind to you, but there are no strings attached anymore now. I'm not going to have any strings attached, and I'm not going to ask anything from them. And in fact, I'm going to release them and let them go. And within this space, you can release them. It is the biggest act of self-love for yourself, my darling, because the only person you're hurting and not forgiving is yourself. It is your energy. You're the one that's feeling it. And when we feel those energies of non-forgiveness and sadness and anger and all of it, actually, if we can depersonalize it and rather than seeing it as a very personal feeling that we're feeling about something, to see it simply as energy. To see it as energy that's always moving. It's never still. It's never rigid. It's never stuck per se. It can be lower energy that's negative and can feel a bit stuck, but it's moving energy, and we're all capable, and we all are very ready to see those feelings as energy and to allow them to understand they're flowing through us, to recognize what that feeling is, to recognize it, to embrace it, to hear it, to listen to it, and then to release it with the understanding it may come up again, but we're not going to become attached to it. We're just going to not ignore it, because ignoring of feelings, you suppress them. Recognize, ask it why it's there, listen to it, and then release it, and then go back to your present. To see it as a lovely ebb and flow, and there's nothing for you to become attached to. And in that detachment of it, in the depersonalization of it, you're actually blessing it. And in the blessing of it, and the blessing of the person, and the blessing of the circumstance, and the understanding that it's giving you strength and courage and self-love, it dissolves and dissipates, because what you resist persists, and what you bless rests, my darling. So, and, you know, we are all presented with many opportunities within relationships that are there to teach us to forgive all the time. And, you know, but there are moments, you know, there are moments where we feel we can, and there are moments when we feel we can't. Don't beat yourself up about it. So what's your challenge, my darling, for Scorpio? Thank you. Oh, I picked up the wrong deck. Thank you. What is Scorpio's challenge at this time? Paint the sun back into your sky. Isn't that glorious? You decide what your picture looks like. You decide what you're going to surround yourself with. This is your creation, my darling. Put the sun back in. Put the sun back into your life. So your challenge is the Scorpion, the 5 of branches. The more you struggle with this, the more you try and understand it, the more you try and overthink this situation, the more you're going to sink into the sand. The more you're going to, it's the sting in the tail. So you have to detach from the thoughts at the moment. The mind, remember, the mind is made up of memories and thoughts that come from this lifetime. I call it like a washing machine. It goes around on the same cycle over and over again. And actually, if we were to actually look at our thoughts down on a piece of paper, we go, oh my goodness, can't believe I was thinking about that over and over and oh, here it is again, over and over and over again. So the only way is to step out of your mind, literally to be out of your mind, to make sense of this. And how do you do that? You come from the heart space. You observe the thoughts that you're having in that detachment and that depersonalizing. You don't think anything about the thoughts. So you might have that thought comes about this person that you are wanting to forgive, or maybe not able to forgive. And rather than creating a conference meeting call about the thought you're having and starting to have other thoughts that are connected to it and going backwards and forwards, just observe you've had that thought about that person, but don't go any further with it. Then just see what else comes through. But in that detachment of it, you are not resisting it. You're allowing the flow, and you're allowing it. You see, without the context of the mind, that thought or that feeling is just a physical feeling within your body. And you're allowing the non-resistance, you're allowing the healing to happen. You're not going to struggle. And that thought will always be just out of your reach. You're not going to make sense of it within trying to get your mind to make sense of it. So, as I said, memories come from just this lifetime, and they're very conditioned memories, and yeah, of course, they're lovely memories and all of that kind of thing, and there's some not so nice memories, but all of them have been an aspect of our progress as a human being, as a soul. It's the balance between the human and the being, but alongside of that, with the choosing to detach and coming out of the mind, you're stepping into a new type of awareness, and that is, you're not the thought. You're observing yourself having a thought. So who is the observer? Who is the watcher of that thought? It's the universe present within you. Spirit, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. And so within that space, it's calm, it's peaceful, there's a nothingness to it. It's all there is. And within that space, and within that detachment, then the ego has to step aside, because the ego and the soul can't coexist within the same presence, within the same awareness. So in your aware state, you will receive the guidance that comes through, not from your thought, from divine thought, from source wisdom. I trust that makes sense, my darling. That's your challenge. And there they come in as the messenger of magic, the raven, the keeper of secrets, ready to give you a message. Let's have a look at your recent past, my darling. Oh, too many cards. Recent past for Scorpio. Thank you. The 8 of Swords. But the 8 of Swords, as the seagull, my darling, where actually you decided to do something different. You've done a lot of work on yourself. You decided to rise up above so much of that feeling of fear. And fear, again, is a thought. It's an energy. You're more than capable of stepping through it or flying above it. And have you noticed that a subconscious fear, when we are conscious of a subconscious fear that's stopping us from doing something, we become frustrated with that fear. So how can I give an example of that? So sometimes we have these wonderful inspired ideas, inspiration to breathe in these ideas that come from source energy for us, for our greatest good. But we don't follow them through, or we don't finish them for fear of failing. We might not consider that within our conscious thought that that's what's happening, but there is a feeling within us about, well, what happens if I fail? What happens if I don't succeed at this? But it's in the taking the leap of faith, it's in the trying that you succeed, because not doing it is also making a choice for other things to happen. So I feel that there has been a lot of self-talk, a lot of perhaps procrastination, but you've gone searching, you've stepped beyond your comfort zone in the past, and you've taught yourself, how to both out-talk yourself about something, but also talk yourself into something. And that's really amazing. And you're flying, this card is flying into the future. So let's have a look. Thank you, Spirit. Let's have a look at your conscious mind, where that is right now. Thank you, Scorpio. Oh, my goodness. So 2 cards have come out. You have the 5 of Cups and you have the Star card. So consciously, you're very aware that there is a lot in your life that's reflecting who you are right now. But you are within the space of doing, as the Star card, a lot of releasing, a lot of staring, a lot of looking at things, a lot of looking to understand. It comes back to the thought process that's happening for you at this time. But it's allowing you, consciously, you're aware that you're coming into a much bigger expression of who you are. Perhaps you are actually opening up a lot more than you used to. You are receiving a lot more than you used to. And all of it, this third eye and these beautiful feathers, is all giving you a wider and wider and more glorious and beautiful perspective of what life is at this time. And that's beautiful, the Star card, because you are also within the state of a sense of, there's a juxtaposition going on here, a sense of slight blissful anticipation of hopes and blessings and things that you're desiring to come in for you. But at the same time, you're sitting within a feeling of lack that they haven't happened yet. So that comes back to right at the beginning. It's time for you to slow down, breathe, and take time to smell the roses. What is it in your life that you're not noticing that Spirit is saying? Flood your feelings with feelings of gratitude, feelings of appreciation of the present. And so, you know, when we can live, what we think, say, and do now, we're placed in our future. But the whole manifestation little trick is to, because the universe doesn't respond to what we wish, it responds to who we are. So within the space of what you are feeling, who you are, and what you believe has already happened, but you haven't seen it yet, almost the manifestation of what you are desiring, my darling, think on it as memories that's already happened, and flood your subconscious with feelings of those memories. And also this time for you is very important to release those feelings that I talked about with forgiveness. This is the red roses. This is to do with love. And the jellyfish, you know, jellyfish is with the 5 of Cups is, I think that certain things that you are considering lacking at the moment, there is a sting in the tail, and there's also been a slight sort of shock for you as well. But it's all an aspect where you are right now. You know, when we go through our life and we view it from the aspect that if something's happened to us, it's the death of the ego. If something happens to us, then it's an affront. It's like the jellyfish, an assault to the senses we perceive. But if we can change it to actually, it hasn't happened to us, it hasn't stung us, it's happened for us to come into the full expression of who we are. And I always feel, especially when there have been things that are very hard to forgive, the way that I see things, and this is just my perception, my darling, is that underneath the ego within everybody is this beautiful soul. It's all the universe experiencing itself. And within that prearrangement of what was to happen within your divine design, that soul has given you something for you, for your growth. And therefore, it's so much easier to forgive the ego on the surface above that soul, because the soul had a plan. The soul had literally a plan. It was the soul's soul mission within that ego, within that body, within that mind, to give you a certain gift. And it's always done with unconditional love. So seek and search, as you are doing, what the gift is that's allowing you now to come into the full expression of who you are, at the same time releasing the negative feelings that are connotations of the ego feeling it's been wounded. And that's the duality of us as a human and us as a being. And you know what? If we were to get it straight away, that's why not to be frustrated with yourself. It's all part of this wonderful, slow unraveling of ourselves and coming back together in a different form that is meant to happen within this lifetime. We came here to be a human being in order to be perfectly imperfect, in order to transition, in order to evolve, in order to have a greater understanding, in order to have relationships that were going to teach us things. And when we view life as that, nothing really can ever hurt us truly again, because we're seeing it from the soul. We're seeing it. What is the soul looking for in this? What is the soul seeking in this? What is the soul remembering in this? And it's all coming back to what feels right, what feels good, what is smelling the roses, that sweet realization. And that's what Spirit is just, for many of you, you understand this already, because look, Knight of Swords, you're on a mission. You're wishing to seek, you're wishing to understand. Let's see what's in your subconscious at this time, my darling. Thank you. Oh, there it is. Okay, so within your subconscious, this is a beautiful connection with the star. There's a beautiful connection here. You are seeking to understand. The Knight of Swords is somebody who has made a decision to make changes in their life, to come away, to create boundaries, to not focus on the negative, to come away from drama, to understand pain in their lives, to understand that which has been upsetting in their lives. This is the Knight of Swords. And they're coming to both, they're coming with a certain sense of understanding and clarity. You have an innate understanding and clarity of why you are where you are. And now you wish to effect a change. And Spirit is also reminding you, this parrot is an incredible communicator, okay, and can mimic. So you may be very good at sort of being and blending in and making people laugh and listening to people, and you're very enjoyable to be around as well. But it is a reminder that you have your own voice, and that perhaps part of the aspect of where you've been in your life is that you have tried to be and blend in and be what other people wish for you to be, or perhaps what you thought you should be, as opposed to who you truly are as this wonderful Scorpio. And I'm also going to say with this that there is a danger sometimes, and the parrots, thank you, Spirit, that when we, with star signs, when we package ourselves up as a star sign, we then label ourselves. We're proclaiming ourselves to be that type of characteristic. And therefore, we are stating that as a command to our subconscious about what effectively is going to reverberate back to us in the future. So don't forget who you are as a wonderful representation of source energy, as an individual, unique representation of source energy, aside from being a Scorpio star sign. Don't package yourself up and label yourself up as everything else. This is what the parrot's talking to me about. And that's very important to understand, because remember, your word is your command. Your word is the universe's command. You know, you're commanding what's coming back to you. And it's a reminder as well within your subconscious that you may be feeling at this time that you do need rest, because you're being asked to slow down, to breathe, to stop. I did this thing on breathing to go and do some breath pod if breathing classes or exercises resonate with you. A wonderful guy does breath pod, and March Russell as well. And take some time out. Okay, this bird doesn't worry, the parrot doesn't worry, the branch is going to break. It's going to take some time out before it flies off again. You need rest, my darling. You need some relaxation at this time. And you need to, this period of time is the releasing of everything you thought you might be, perhaps even just as a Scorpio, but whatever it is within your life, to come into understanding that, do you know what? You're amazing and you're unique and you're here for a particular mission, a particular life purpose. And that may be huge, it may be small, it doesn't matter. It's what the soul has decided underneath the identity for who we are. So let's have a look now at what is in your near future, my darling. Thank you, Spirit. Paint the sun back in your sky. And there's that 11. I just want to show that again. There is that 11. You know, what a wonderful spiritual number for you. There are so many things, my darling, that you are creating in your life, and you have this opportunity now to create such happiness for yourself. And I think the word forgive here is a big word for you at this time. There is something within your past that you are working very hard to release, and you're working really hard to release that. So the Four of Crabs has come out. Now, I like this card for you in your future, because what it is showing to me, it's not the normal Four of Cups here, the Four of Shells, the crabs. I feel that there is more discovering for you to do in the near future. Okay, there's more delving beneath the surface, digging beneath the surface to the feeling behind the feeling behind the feeling. But this is to show that you're doing it, and you're coming out of your shell to do it. So you're going to be given circumstances and events that are going to encourage you to perhaps step beyond what you normally would feel comfortable to do. But these are all opportunities for you to come into a different type of understanding and fulfillment for yourself. And these 3 cups here represent that surface level past, present, and future that you're kind of leaving behind, with the deeper connection that you're creating with yourself, with this Ace of Cups that's coming in. I just want to see what else. Thank you, Spirit. Sorry about that, my internet went down. So let's have a look at the Four of Cups. The crab, anything else, Spirit, that comes after the Four of Cups? Thank you, Spirit, for Scorpio. The 10 of Cups and the 2 of Cups, my darling, and the Masters of Discernment. So with this self-analysis, with this self-reflection, in forgiving and choosing to forgive, to let bygones be bygones, I'm receiving, to let the past remain in the past, to move forward and focus on yourself and what you are wanting and desiring, and being who you are meant to be, my darling. With this, you are coming into this energy of, this is the overriding energy, making judgments for yourself, making choices for yourself that are about how you wish to be, how you wish to transform yourself. It's beautiful energy. It's about the alignment of your conscious and subconscious, and your focus on your own transformation. And that is because you've released that past, present, future focus, but more living in this present moment, with the understanding that you're exactly where you're meant to be. And then you've got both the 10 of Cups and the 2 of Cups that is coming in. So this is your bliss point, your emotional fulfillment, but it starts with how you're feeling now about yourself. It comes back to taking the time to smelling the roses now. Because gratitude brings more gratitude. It's the law of attraction, the law of love. And then you've got this beautiful 2 of Cups energy with the dolphin. And this is a relationship, my darling, a relationship that is an important relationship. It can be a family relationship, it could be a love relationship, but it's one based on how you're communicating with each other. Dolphins communicate through clicks and then what reverberates back. So that's very much a connection, an energetic connection between you that has an understanding, has an undercurrent of communication that's happening the whole time. And it's fun, and it'll give you ups and downs, but it is the balance. It is the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And then you've got the 6 of Cups, very sweet, the soulmate reading, the soulmate card here. Soulmate means soul friend. somebody who is a friendly soul. So there will be teaching within this relationship, great teaching, a lot of giving and receiving, a lot of giving and receiving with gentleness. That's what I'm receiving, with a gentle approach. So there we are, lots to look forward to, my darling. I trust that that has helped those that have resonated with this reading. I look forward to doing you another reading, well, your weekly reading next week for you. The Scorpio weekly one has also come out today. But in the meantime, check out the dailies and have a wonderful weekend, my darlings. Take care and so much love. Bye-bye.